Hi, hello everyone. My name is David Jeter, and this is my week 6 submission, and this is going to be my informative speech about water. Water. What comes to mind when I say the word water? Some of us probably think of oceans, rivers, lakes, streams. Some people think of thirst, taking a bath, or even going to pool parties. But did anyone think of life? Now, water is an inorganic compound made of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. This colorless, odorless, and tasteless compound is the basis of all living organisms. This quintessential molecule, which can be found in either a solid, liquid, or gas form, has an outstanding impact on life and the ecosystem in which all life occurs. Water has a unique physical and chemical property that can help create, balance, and sustain life on Earth. Now, water is all around us. In every culture, in every language, and in every corner of the globe, there's a word for water. Now, this is because of the effects of water and the important role it plays in our ecosystem. In May of 2016, Howard Perlman of the United States Geological Survey, Water Science School, wrote an article entitled, "How Much Water Is There On, In, and Above the Earth?" After reading the article, I found out that water takes up about 71% of Earth's surface. Looking at that number in relation to size, the amount of water on Earth would be an estimate of about 332.5 million cubic miles. Of all the water on Earth, 96.5% lies within the oceans, seas, and bays, leaving only about 3.5% of water on Earth to be in our rivers, lakes, swamps, in ice formations, groundwater, and drinking water. Fresh water alone only consists of less than 1% of the Earth's total water supply. Now, water also has a couple unique properties. Besides of the basic physical properties like weight, which is around 8.3 pounds per gallon of water, water also has properties to include being colorless, odorless, and tasteless in pure water form. Now, on Earth, it is very hard to find pure water. Many materials, minerals, bacteria, and other faucets on Earth can change the color, odor, and taste of water. Now, water is also a solvent. Now, a solvent is a substance capable of dissolving other molecules. Molecules that are being dissolved are called solutes. The compounds that are readily dissolved in water are called hydrophilic or water-loving compounds. Materials and compounds that do not dissolve readily in water are called hydrophobic, which are water-fearing compounds. Water is capable of dissolving polar compounds such as table sugar, and also ionic compounds such as table salt. Now, another unique property of water is that it freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit and it boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, in between 32 degrees Fahrenheit and 212 degrees Fahrenheit, water is in a liquid form. This liquid form is caused by hydrogen bonds breaking and reforming so rapidly in distorted configurations. Water, when cooled below 32 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 degrees Celsius, water forms into a solid. Now, when frozen, the atoms that make up water make up a well-defined structure. This unique feature of water when it turns into a solid is that it is less dense than in the liquid form. This is easily seen in a glass of water where you have the ice floating on top of the liquid form of water. Now, water is considered to have a high heat index as well, which basically means that water can absorb a lot of heat before it gets too hot. This is why we have to go up to 212 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 degrees Celsius before water starts to boil. Now, from a study conducted by University of Idaho, water is the only pure substance found naturally in all 3 states. Stephen Lower from Simon Fraser University wrote an article as well entitled "A Gentle Introduction to Water and Its Structure," and this was in January of 2014. Here he wrote about how water is sticky. Now, don't get me wrong, we don't usually think of water being sticky, but rather wet and slippery. But water has a high surface tension that makes it sticky and elastic. The high surface tension creates clumps rather than a thin surface. This is why water creates droplets. Water's high surface tension also allows it to move through the roots of plants and even in our tiny blood vessels within our bodies. Water's chemical description, as some of us may already know, is H2O. If you don't know this chemical description of H2O is two hydrogen atoms attached to one oxygen atom. The attraction between these two hydrogen atoms and the single oxygen atom are by covalent bonds. Now, the two hydrogen atoms are attached to one side of the atom, creating the water molecule. Water, as mentioned earlier in the physical properties, is a good solvent. Pure water, free of all impurities, minerals, and other solutes, is an insulator. And being an insulator means that pure water does not conduct any electricity. However, because water is such a good solvent, and water is found around many different minerals and other solutes found on Earth, it is certain that the solute in the water has been broken down and created free ions, allowing an electric current to flow through. Because of the solvent properties of water, many biochemical reactions can take place. And also, many biochemical reactions can only take place within aqueous solutions. Because of the chemical properties of water, it can bend enzymes and catalyze chemical reactions, allowing these chemical reactions to occur much faster than they originally would. Because of the water compound being the only substance to occur naturally in the three physical states, this allows for a wide area to be saturated from the cycle of evaporation and condensation. Since the Earth is covered in about 71% of water, life in the deep oceans would have a hard time surviving if water did not expand and become less dense when it is exposed to temperatures below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. The high heat capacity of water also helps regulate the Earth's temperature and climate. When it comes to water in our bodies, though, it is also the most valuable of all. Because of the sticky surface tension, water helps transport other dissolved nutrients and other materials, to include our blood cells, throughout our own bodies. This makes it possible for every organ in our body to do the jobs it needs to do to survive. Now, human bodies are also mostly made of water. We're about 60%. Water in the body helps digest foods because it is such a good solvent. Now, water also helps biochemical reactions between cells, to include metabolism. Not only does water help Earth's temperature, but it also helps us regulate our own body temperatures. Water in our bodies comes out as perspiration to help cool our bodies by secreting through our skin and evaporating on our skin's surface. Water is vital for all living things on Earth. The unique physical and chemical properties of water, the ability to dissolve other compounds, and act as a medium for biochemical reactions makes water a compound vital to every living thing on Earth. Although we don't think of water doing more than what we see on the surface, it definitely allows for life to exist.